everyone, and welcome to this video on Natal Sun in Aquarius, part 1. Okay, I'm just going to dive right into it, so yeah. The motto for having your Natal Sun in Aries is, how can I bring how can I bring harmony into concrete reality? Superpower is ability to keep hope and faith even in the hard times. Now, the symbol of Aquarius is two wavy lines, and it is known as the water bearer. Yet the late astrologer Natal, who died on his 83rd birthday at the 31st of December 2019, just want to mention that because he has had a big impact in my training as an astrologer. Natal anyway states that the two lines represent the shape a human ankles makes when walking, and he states that the purpose of Aquarius energy is to bring new, inventive, inspirational, eccentric, oftentimes electric ideas into existence. When you have your Natal Sun in Aquarius, in order to transcend the karma, you have to learn to reinvent the individual, accepting the visions of Uranus which make you ahead of your time, because we can't forget Saturn also is a co-ruler of Aquarius, so it may, you get Uranus inspiration and Saturn puts the brakes on with limitation and stuff. What you have to do is develop into a true humanitarian by healing all your wounds that you bury in your subconscious mind. Then you can be a beacon of light for your family and friends. In fact, you can move the whole collective to tolerate each other's differences instead of rejecting each other, creating wars and social unrest because of each person's differences. You can help bring humanity together. This is the purpose of Sun in Aquarius or excessive Aquarian energy in your birth chart. The Aquarian vibration has the potential to have great respect for self and others. Day of the week, Aquarius Uranus rules along with Saturn is Sunday. As I mentioned, the ruling planets are Uranus and Saturn. The esoteric ruler is Jupiter. The element is air. The modality is fit. So, just like Scorpio, Taurus and Leo can be very set in their ways, but we come into that in a moment. The Sun is actually in detriment when it's in Aquarius. It's exalted when it's in Mercury, and Aquarius is in 4 when it's in Neptune. The opposing sign of Aquarius is Leo. Aquarius rules the 11th house, but also influences the 10th house. Some of the key words for Natal Sun in Aquarius are willing, progressive outlook, faithful, loyal, governed by head and not the heart. You know that love is a universal force, just like any emotion, ready to call upon whenever you're ready. Can help reform self and others. You can reform yourself and you can help others to change their life around as well. You're very supportive of friends, families, dreams, visions. Your emphasis here when you've got this placement is on intellectual thinking and social balance. Can be eccentric, open to having random flashes of inspiration, sometimes 24/7, charismatic, also into technology, scientific, kind of rational thinking, can be visionary, humanitarian, has many friends from all walks of life, can be good-natured. In general, you're a nonconformist. Now, some of the negatives of Natal Sun in Aquarius is that you can be overly eccentric, fickle, unpredictable, lack tact. You can be perverse in your thoughts, behaviours and actions, can become fixed in ideals, can fear intimacy, can sometimes turn into a rebel without a cause, can be superficially detached, i.e. you're scared of emotion and hide your feelings rather than actually being detached. So you can also be rigid in your beliefs, can be cold and distant with the influence of Saturn, making it so. Can come across as lacking empathy. You can remain aloof in all interactions with others, inconsistent, extremist and stubborn. So yeah, what is it like to have your Natal Sun in Aquarius? Well, in general, you're friendly, but you're also very private. Solar Aquarians see time as energy and do not like to waste it. They are choosy about who they wish to be around. The general character of Aquarius is friendly, kind, aloof and unpredictable, sympathetic, although yes, Aquarians will help anyone, especially those close to them. However, it will be in a detached way without getting emotional, often out of underlying fear of emotions, which I'll go into later. Now, don't get me wrong, the evolved Aquarian who has learned to manage and is aware of all their personality traits are capable of true empathy, showing their emotional warmth but still remaining semi-detached from events. This is usually after a long process of going through your own emotional baggage and managing your personality traits. Aquarians will make great sacrifices to remain independent, even severing connections with friends, family or anything else that gets in the way. Still, this tendency to remain standoffish is why certain people decide not to be friends or lovers with Aquarians. Yes, solar Aquarians will and can help others in times of need, but typically the reasoning behind their sympathy is wanting to stop others from being irrational. In general, Aquarians don't care about what others think of them, nor let the opinions of others phase or deter their interests. In general, you're not interested in the depths of the roles of the individual. The focus is on the collective, and this can mean that you can come across as lacking empathy and feigning sympathy, and because of this, others can see you as impersonal and avoid you. I will go later on in this video. I talk more about the reasoning why you lack empathy. Normally, it's out of a fear of dealing with your own emotions. So yes, it's good to be detached, but not at the cost of genuine connection with others. The fact that Aquarians love to be involved in the protest, activism or charitable pursuits sometimes seems odd to others. On the surface, others are drawn to you as your ideas appear offbeat and this gives you a magnetic pull. Yet those who are seeking genuine human connection can be put off by your lack of warmth and sweet nothings. As yes, you have to talk, but at times you do not back it up with actions due to your erratic and eccentric nature. Although soft aspects to your Aquarius Sun will alter this tendency to not care about what others feel, such as aspects to your natal North Node, Sun, Mars, Venus, placed in Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, Libra or Virgo. One big negative of having natal Sun in Aquarius or intense Aquarian energy in your natal chart is that you can fall into being an individual just for the sake of it, being different just for the sake of it. Let me give you an example. May create a piece of art, poem or theory of being just to be viewed by others as different. Try and meet your need as being seen by others as an individual. On the one hand, yes, Aquarian suns can be focused on bettering the world for all of humanity, seeking reform and transformation and justice for all. But unless the personality is tempered, as we must never forget, Aquarius is a fixed sign, and yes, being firm in your convictions is good, although if you're not willing to change your mind, especially if evidence is presented to you which indicates your thoughts and behaviours are flawed or outdated, then this is not good, because the progressive energy of Uranus wants you to be forward thinking, but sometimes your stubbornness can mean that you're the typical person that in their youth would have been seen as a revolutionary and visionary, but you don't change with the time, so then you fall into the Saturn energy, going with the status quo. Those with their natal sun in Aquarius or who have intense Aquarian energy in their birth chart are very forward thinking on the surface, but internally they can be very stubborn with their beliefs and opinions. When you have your sun in Aquarius, you become at risk of remaining abstractly connected to your adverse and self-destructive traits, remaining aloof of your ability to change yourself. You go around trying to change other people's reforming institutions, but you don't try and look in and change yourself first. The old adage of physician heal yourself first applies here. You must be willing to reform your own character, including your beliefs, thoughts and behaviours, if you want to become an evolved and therefore stabilised Aquarius solar sign. Yes, it's good to be an individual. Yes, you must cut off life-draining pursuits to become an authentic individual, yet there are ways of going yet there are ways at going around things. As the sun goes, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sometimes the advice others try to give you needs to be heeded so you can become a better and more productive individual. Your humanitarian streak is admirable, but if you really want to transform society and others, start with yourself first. I'm going to talk about your intellect and your career prospects when you've got Sun in Aquarius. In general, Aquarius does not care about what others think, as the purpose of the Aquarian Sun and solar Aquarian energy in your natal chart is to be visionary in your thoughts and self-expression. You do need to be able to make your own decisions, even when others who are used to the status quo give you millions of reasons why your new and innovative ideas will never come into fruition. Yet, when an Aquarius Sun falls into being a rebel without a cause, or even worse, falling into the habit of going against tradition just for the fun of it or to make a point, disaster will always come about. Aquarius thinking is often logical, rational, scientific or intellectual, clear-cut and clinical in explanation and execution. There is a vast capacity to develop your creativity, imagination and intuition as you've got Uranus influencing you to do so. But you've also got the energy of Saturn, who likes tangible. Remember Capricorn, which Saturn co-rules as well, is an earth sign, grounded, likes to see tangible results in opposed to, Uranus's flashes of inspiration. But the trick here is to use that practical grounding energy of Saturn to propel work hard towards the visions that Uranus gives you. Solar Aquarians see emotions and situations as things to be handled. When they often support, especially when emotions are high, it can be because of a deep subconscious drive to avoid wild displays of affection. Natal Sun in Aquarius responds to situations analytically, not empathetically. Because of this, they can be great politicians, psychiatrists, scientists, researchers, sociologists, charity workers, astrologers, NASA employees, biologists, chemists, quantum physicists, archaeologists, TV personality, inventor, historian, actor, pilot, or a high government operative like a spy. And you can even fall into being a cult leader, going back to what I was saying earlier about creating pseudo theories or abstract art, giving irrelevant explanations, going around the house using explanations just for the sake of it. Then this can lead into you sticking with your ideal even though it's flawed and you don't even know why you're really doing it, and maybe creating a cult of some kind. So the stability that not every Aquarian is going to be a cult leader. Depending on where Mercury is placed in your natal chart, which sign it is in, depends on your stability of your mind and your proneness to, going into flawed theories or becoming a cult leader. So if Mercury is in Taurus, Capricorn and Virgo, your state of mind would be more stable and fair and your actions less unpredictable. Although there may be a lot of indecision and random behaviour if Mercury is in Libra, Gemini or Sagittarius, maybe impulsiveness in thoughts and actions if Mercury is in Aries or Leo. If Mercury is in Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio, there'd be a more of an emotional edge to your sun and more of an emotional edge to your character. For the solar Aquarian and those with intense natal Aquarian energy in their birth chart, work has to be spontaneous at all times with room for you to use your originality and inventiveness, or you will get bored and be very unhappy. Dullness does not do your temperament well. In general, you like to work in large groups of people. Your forte is keeping the peace, maybe human resources management, where you will have to take into account different various employees' strengths and weaknesses and get them to, work to the best of their abilities. Helping people transform their lives is also something else that you're good at, and you're also good at uncovering injustice and fighting for equality for all. Adverse aspects to your natal sun in Aquarius involving Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Mars can produce a deceptive character who will use their humanitarian tendencies to mislead and hoodwink people. Aquarians are born researchers and scientific thinkers. They may not work in these fields but have a hobby which involves these subjects. You love to look back into mankind's history to see patterns and avenues for new ways of doing things. Aquarians will fight for any cause they believe in or think is right to speak up for. You have a great need to demand reform and change in others and in society. Okay, I'm going to end this part 1 video here. In part 2, I'm going to talk more about the sadder side of Aquarius. Aquarius is in love. So yes, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and share. Take care.